such a bitch.
Josh came at me earlier, so
I did not come at you.
Dude, I was trying to be motivational, and you just, like, decided to start a fight, and I had to end it.
Okay, I understand that you're, like, on your period right now and everything, but pull it together.
Come on now. That's sexist.
Okay.
And we're definitely recording. So now
We can cut this out, right?
No, it's alright. Welcome to Classy Dinner Podcast, the only podcast with your mom on speed dial. I'm Ray Roberts. That's Joshua Lewis. If everything's working well, we've got video too. But we don't know until it's done. So that'll be fun. How are you today, Joshy?
You know, I'm doing okay. It's the new year. I don't think that we've...
New year, new you?
New year, same me.
Same you. You're not coming with more. You're just going to stay at the same level.
You know, I think I'm great, so...
Yeah.
I don't see any need to change anything.
Nothing fresh, nothing new.
Nah, man.
You're just keeping it rolling.
That's right.
That's exciting.
Don't fix what ain't broken. What about you?
You know, there are things that I want to get. I want to, like, try to be more successful at things, but, like...
Okay.
I also feel like I've been but you wouldn't be able to tell from listening to this stupid thing, but, like, I've been too reserved lately, and I feel like we just got to come with some heat to let some motherfuckers know what's going on. You know what I mean?
So you want us to get hated by more people? Is that what
Who hates us? Nobody hates us.
I'm sure that there's...
I'm sure there are, but they haven't said anything, so keep quiet, you little bitch. Not you, like whoever's mad at us.
Alright.
We're coming out spicy. Fuck the haters.
Okay. What do you got?
What do I got what? For this week?
You said spicy, so I assume that you had
Oh
something
no,
off the rip.
I just wanted to tell people to shut the fuck up. They need to know their lane. People are getting... I was talking to somebody. People are just getting... They think that they're too good at things that they do, and then they advertise it like, oh, I just had my first bomb. No, you didn't. I've seen you every single week. You know who you are. You're not good. Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about, and I'm not going to engage in this any further.
I don't know. I just feel like in 2020, now that, like, we're going to war, it'll be great.
We are not going to war.
Now that your president has dragged us into war.
My president?
We just need to stop being nice to people, because,
Got it.
I mean, 2016, like, something bad happened. The big bad orange man got elected, and then we were just like, maybe we should be nicer to people and not talk so much shit. Because that's how we got elected, was talking mad shit, and that's hilarious. And then people were just like, we need to be nicer and accept everybody. And it's like, you know, why a man great till he's got to be great, as one of my favorite artists has ever said. And
which artist?
She's great.
What is her name?
Very body positive. She's definitely not a bad example for the children out there.
Okay.
But she's great because she's great when she's got to be great, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. That's by the poet laureate Lizzo.
Poet laureate?
You better.
Okay.
Like, you know, when Obama was elected, and they're like, you know, there's a good shot that Jay-Z might be, like, the top poet in the nation. He should have been. But you never know. Elizabeth Warren gets in there, and she's going to be like, fuck it. Lizzo's poet laureate.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it, and I'm going to respect your stance on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm throwing her hat in the ring right now. She's
For
great.
what?
Poet laureate. I'm electing, and I want to nominate her as poet laureate. I don't know if that's how it works.
That's not how it works, but okay.
I'm letting her know.
You're just letting her know that, in theory, her hat is in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you imagine, like, our poet laureate having yeeks out at a Lakers game? Like, this is the best country in the world.
On the off chance that this reaches Lizzo, I hope that she's proud.
Of her yeeks being out?
Yeah.
I like the word yeeks.
I don't, and I really want you to stop using it.
But no, I just feel like there's too many people who think that they're good at things, and nobody's told them they're not. And I think that needs to stop in 2020. I mean, don't go out of your way to be mean, but if somebody's like, hey, how do you think this was? You don't have to tell them it was good. You can tell them that they fucking suck. I think that's a good resolution for 2020.
So you just want everyone to move forward without any regard for anyone else's feelings?
If they ask. Like, I don't want... Like, if you do something stupid, I'm not going to pull you aside without you asking and be like, hey, you're fucking stupid. But if somebody's like, hey, that was real good, right? And you can't just be like, nah. Like,
I mean, I feel like I that would never happen between the two of us for
Right.
two reasons.
'cause
Number
we're both
one,
great.
my opinions are always perfect, and number two, I don't typically ask for yours.
True.
But on
Probably
the
should.
off chance, You say I probably should?
No, why would I ever do?
Right, because your ideas have never gotten me into any trouble ever.
Do we need to go down this road right now?
Classy dinner.
Podcast. Available on all streaming services. But no, I don't know. It's just there's too many people that think they're good that aren't good, and I think that they need to know that they're not good because they can't just be out here ruining it for the rest of us. Because in my line of business, this is what happens: is people will like go to venues and be like, we can throw you a show, and it'll be fun, and then it'll be like the same 7 or 8 people who are just trash that are at every fucking open mic, and they'll go there, and then like the people will go to these shows, and they'll think that is what stand-up comedy is.
So why can't you take this into your own hands and be the guy that says, hey, I can throw you a show, and you just get quality people?
Because I'm a performer. I'm not a promoter or a person who sets up shows.
So you're specifically talking about promoters right now?
Not even. It's people who want to promote and do comedy at the same time. It drives, like, people need to know their lane. Like, do you want to promote comedy or do you want to do comedy? Because I feel like promoters got a bad name because they'll be like, oh, they're just using people for their talent. So then people who aren't good comedians were like, oh, we'll just book our own shows. And it's like, you're not good enough to, like, do the shows that you want to do. So you're going to make your own shows and then just ruin it for everybody else. Why don't you just make your own shows and put the good people on it? You can still make money, and then you don't have to, like, ruin this thing that everybody likes.
I mean, all right. I guess I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like last night, like, we were talking about it outside, but, like, you just go up there and it's like, God, it's not that hard. Like, yeah, sometimes it's hard and I'm not good every time. But, like, when somebody's on stage and, like, by all means they work in the entertainment business and they're supposed to, like, know how to make people happy, and then the instant that somebody else goes up there, the crowd just instantly loves them. Like, they wanted to, like, have fun, and you were just negative fun, and that's your job. Like, go back to, like, promoting it. You don't have to do it. Like, those who can't do things should help the people who can if they love it. Or get better at it. That's
okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's a much better stance. Like,
just be better.
Like if I'm shitty at something, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go help Ray. I'm gonna vicariously live out my dreams through you. That's
Welcome to
not-
Classy Dinner Podcast, where Josh lives.
I don't want. You're not doing anything that I want to do.
Why not?
Because I have different dreams.
Oh, that's true. What are your dreams? Let's talk about it. It's
I don't want to get into this.
What is your end game to everything that you do?
Making money.
Oh, that's just all you want is to secure the bag.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I'm not one of the, like, I don't need to be famous. I don't need to be super influential. I just want to be extremely comfortable and make sure that the people closest to me are as comfortable.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
It's a line that's kind of been fucking with me lately. Is I was listening to a podcast and I forget who said it, but I've said it 1,000 times since I've heard it. Like, everybody wants to be rich and famous until you're rich and famous, and you just realize you just wanted to be rich the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't deal with paparazzi. I don't deal with, like, I don't need to be verified on Twitter. I don't like
in your everyday life. You don't deal with paparazzi.
I mean, I do, but like,
you look good in pictures.
Stressful. I actually think that I'm notoriously not photogenic at all.
Well, if you're trying too hard, you got to just get candid pictures. Like, we've taken a lot of good pictures together.
I don't think we have.
We've taken one.
Like, yeah, one. We've taken like one.
We look the same then as we do now, so I mean that might as well be 1,000 pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
I don't know. But yeah, we are going to war. And everything that I've learned about war is obviously from a
Tom Hanks movies, right?
So, I've seen Private Ryan quite a lot, and I don't think that I'm cut out for war. And I don't want to go to it. Like, they killed Vin Diesel. Like, why? They didn't have to do that. And
I mean, go ahead.
I don't want to be Vin Diesel. I don't want to get shot.
I'm going to sidestep real quick and then loop back to your point.
Yeah.
I think that Vin Diesel is overrated, and I do not think that he is as hard as everybody says he is.
Have you seen Triple X?
Yeah.
That movie's so good.
That's one movie. Everything else, he's like not. He's not that hard.
Fast and Furious is?
Not that hard.
Come on, son.
Not that hard. I'm sorry, he's not.
What's
like,
your favorite Fast and Furious movie?
I don't like any of them. If I'm being completely honest, they're not good movies, and the plot is dumb.
This has been a great episode 5. I don't think there'll be an episode 6.
Oh my god. Yeah, because you love trash movies.
Yeah. Too Fast, Too Furious is the best one, by the way. Vin Diesel's not in that one.
Oh, well, that's probably why it would be the best
Eva
one.
Mendes is, though. She completely carries that movie. It's
Really?
It's a bad movie. Terrible, terrible movie. But, like, Eva Mendes in Miami is never a bad time.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but no, I don't think that we should go to war. I think that'd be not fun. Just mostly, like, I don't know, like, they don't have Netflix. I don't think there's an open mic in Syria or in Iran.
In Syria? Why Syria? Why did you go
They're
to
gonna get dragged in there. That was one of the big reasons, is that guy that we bombed was, like, behind defending Syria a lot. And, like, he, like, coordinated some attack on an embassy or some shit like that they say.
Okay, so in the event, that we do, like, full-fledged get thrown back into war.
Back in, like, we're not in 4 forever wars right now.
I'm talking about, like,
A real big one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be necessary to draft people.
Yeah.
Like, enlistment's not that low.
I could imagine there being, like, a real uptick right now, just by Iran just being like, oh, we're gonna retaliate, which, I mean, I guess they could, but, like, they don't really have, like, the infrastructure to retaliate on, like, a large scale. I could see a bunch of morons just being like, we're gonna protect the country, and it's like, we kind of brought this one on ourselves.
Well, like, right after 9/11, military recruitment offices were filled. Like, they were working, like, 16, 18-hour days just to get people processed.
This
you know what I
makes
mean?
so much sense. I just saw Star Wars. There's another Top Gun coming out soon. This all makes sense.
What?
There's another Top Gun coming out. And back when the first Top Gun came out, they had recruitment stations in the movie theaters for people to sign up for, like, the Air Force and the Navy and shit like that.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was, like, a big thing. Cause, like,
oh, that's so skeevy.
So there's, like, a big uptick. And there's another one coming out. So, like, this all plays into it. So, like, we just start a new war. There's another Top Gun. I'm going to go see it because I love Top Gun.
Yeah.
And it looks great. And now they're just going to, like, have recruitment stations, and they're going to be like, hey, you need to protect our freedom. Look at how cool Maverick was.
I mean, I feel like every time a big movie comes out like that, though, there's some, like, rejuvenated patriotism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's dumb.
I was watching 300 this morning. And, like,
good movie.
Yeah, it was fun. But, like, remember because it came out in 2006. So that was right about when,
the movie
like...
came out in 2006?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it showed up on the thing. Otherwise, I would have assumed it came out, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, even though I saw it in the theaters when I was 16, but... Like, that was right when, like, the second surge was going on in, like, Iraq and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you always just get, like, these macho random war movies that come out in that time just to be like, look, guys, this is what you could be doing. You could be all manly and shit and have, like, a focus and, like, have something to do with your life.
Yeah, I mean, those are easy targets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those are easy targets for, like, recruitment and things like that, and Godspeed.
Is that so? I don't think we talked about it on here. Is that how they got you? Was 300? Like, you were like, I want to be Leonidas.
I do not want to get into this.
Okay.
But sure.
Could they call you back though?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was like a thing where it could happen.
No.
That'd be sad.
Thanks.
Because between the two of us, I mean, you're definitely younger.
Yes, I am.
You're taller.
Not by much.
I know.
We're
but like,
we're about the same.
a little bit, but I feel like you'd be a lot more intimidating in uniform than I would be.
Do you mean because I'm black?
No.
Oh.
You have a much more mean face than I do.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. You have a very welcoming.
Yeah, like that would be the worst part. Like I'd just be like in Iran and like,
hey guys.
hey, what's up? Like I don't want to shoot you. Like you know, in Saving Private Ryan, where that guy's like, he's about to like shoot the other guy and then he doesn't because he's like it was the German guy who like saved his life at some point or didn't shoot him, and then the other guy goes like. So you know what I'm talking about? Like
I saw this movie one time.
there's like the guy who was like the big chicken shit of the group,
Uh,
and like he was like hiding and crying in a bunker, like I would be doing. And like this German guy looked at him and saw him crying, and then just like went away and let him live. And then like the roles reversed, but then that German guy ended up killing somebody else. So then the chicken shit guy went and like shot him at the end when he was like already tied up. So or something close to that.
got it.
So it was just like, I don't know, that would be me because I would not be able to handle that. I don't like loud noises. I don't like sand, just period. Like that's why I don't like vacations that much.
You're not gonna get drafted.
I
You know that, right?
I'm pretty sure.
This is not like. It's not even a concern.
I
You
think
will
it-
not be
I
drafted.
have to get good at singing so I can be like in the army choir or something like that.
The Army Choir.
Yeah, don't they
Okay.
like that's who sings at all like the presidential shit.
That is the Marine Corps Orchestra.
Oh.
That's not the same thing.
I used to play viola.
Good.
Yeah, me and Pat.
You want to go be a Marine?
Just show up with my old viola case. Like, hey guys.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Here from the war. I got a solid 7 minutes.
Wasn't that a thing like in like Revolutionary War times that people like had the specific job that like all they were supposed to do is entertain the soldiers when they weren't actively fighting?
They use like the drum people and the fife people up front to like give like marching orders and shit like that. Like that's how they communicated it because there wasn't like electricity and walkie-talkies and shit.
But realistically, that was the safest job because based on like
Yeah, you
rules
weren't
of
supposed to,
combat,
like, shoot them.
you're not supposed to engage with them.
Well, a lot of them were like kids too.
Yeah.
Like that's growing up in Perrysburg, we had Fort Meigs. So like War of 1812 was like big there. So like
Mhm.
a bunch of nerds would do like their recreations or whatever. And like one of the kids that I went to high school with was like a fife player. And,
Oh really?
Yeah, so he knew all this dumb shit about it. So if he's like, yeah, it was against the rules, but like it happened. I mean, you're gonna catch a stray bullet every once in a while, but you're not
Oh
supposed to shoot
yeah,
them.
yeah. But like realistically, if there was no active combat, those kids would be able to like walk across the battlefield. And
Oh, and
for
they
the
were,
most
like-
part,
And they were
remain
like
unarmed.
hose on top of hose following them too. Like that's the best part of war is like
the spoils.
like that's what Savat has that joke about his mom wearing combat boots because that was like the old school thing, like your mom wears combat boots because the like prostitutes would follow people in war from town to town, and since they marched so much they would have to wear combat boots to keep up with the guys.
Yeah.
So it was like if your mom wears combat boots, she's a whore. This is like an old schooly thing.
I feel like that's a really lost.
It is.
Like you could. I think that out of 100 people on the street, you could say that to them, and maybe 3 would get offended. Everybody
Probably.
else would just be like, "She okay."
Yeah, for the
My
longest
mom
time.
wears Sperry's, but thanks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
She wears flats, you know?
yeah.
She works in an office. She's a librarian. I don't know. I was thinking about it a lot, though. And we've been, like, teasing about it, or at least I've been taking it seriously. But, one, since we're in a legit business together, I don't know if you count this as a business or not, And 2, I don't want to get drafted. 3, the government doesn't like people of alternative lifestyles in their army, especially under your orange president. Should we just finally get it done and get married? So 1, we don't ever have to testify against each other in court, and 2, we probably won't ever have to go to war.
So for everyone out there, you can't just bring that up without providing backstory. Ray and I made a pact a decent amount of time ago that in the event of danger or prison time for either of us, we made the assumption that the other would be incriminated in some way, which is still probably true.
100%.
And in the event, in order to save our own asses, we would wed, so that we never had to testify.
Especially since
against each
it's
other.
legal now too.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't even have to like go to Vermont. Like we could just go to like.
Yeah, we could just do it here.
But could we go to Vermont? I feel like that'd be a nice spot, like with the foliage and.
Yeah, I guess.
In Vermont in the fall, tell me that wouldn't be a good spot for us to get domestically coupled.
Domestically coupled, okay. Yeah.
I mean, we'd have like a marriage license and all that shit, but like, I mean, we'd still have to have our girlfriends. Like, I almost feel like that would be the biggest contention. Just being like, hey, like I know I said I'd never get married, but like it's either a lifetime being married to Josh.
On paper.
Or 5 to 10.
Right, like... Well, isn't it a thing that, like, we could get married and get divorced within a year? Like, there's no statute of limitations on spousal privilege, is there?
I don't know. But, like, I feel like if we were married and then... I don't... Because, like, any good defense lawyer would be like, well, that's his ex. He's going to say anything to, like, get him in trouble.
True.
But then you're also, there's like perjury involved and all that shit. Like that's why the rule is like around, because like if you're married to somebody, like you are supposed to like believe in them more than the law and protect them under anything. So that's why like they just have that protection.
That was beautiful.
I know.
I've never heard it described in such a poetic way.
I get paid for words.
That's awesome. Thank you.
But like that's the whole point of the whole thing. But I don't see, like, but I don't know. I watch a lot of Bones and a lot of SVU, and they'll, like, bring up, like, ex-wives and shit, and just be like, yeah, he was a terrible person, because that's, like, a good character witness against the person.
Sure, but I can't say, Ray killed this man on this day. Like, that, I can't say that, but yeah, I can tell them what
I don't think we'd ever be involved in a murder together. Like,
what did you think that we were going to be involved in that we would need to get married to avoid?
Embezzlement.
Tax evasion?
Yeah,
okay.
like tax evasion, something money related.
Yeah.
Maybe like involuntary manslaughter, like at worst when it comes to like a physical crime.
I think that like tax evasion and embezzlement are the most likely.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is,
by the time they start, like, do you ever think of that? You're like, if I'm smart enough to figure out how not to pay taxes or like make fake money, I could use that to make not fake money.
Yeah, that's true.
Like in Catch Me If You Can, another Tom Hanks movie.
I'm going to give you that one because Catch Me If You Can is a phenomenal
movie.
That is a great movie. I'll give it to you.
Like where the kid's like, oh, I can make all this money not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then like the FBI hires them and they're like, yeah, like you could have made all this money not being a shithead, but then he wouldn't have learned how to do all that stuff without being a shithead.
He also wouldn't have made it as quickly.
He also wouldn't have banged Jennifer.
What's her name?
Or
yeah.
What's her face? Not Aniston.
No,
Jennifer, the one from Alias.
I can see her face right now, but her name's not coming to me. I'm sorry.
It happens. But I mean, in the real world though, okay. So in the movie, he would have never hooked up with her if he didn't do that.
Yeah.
In real life, Leo DiCaprio could have whoever he wants anytime. So do you think it's more likely for bank robber / check fraud person in Catch Me If You Can to hook up with her, or Leonardo DiCaprio in real life?
how much money has the check frauding person amassed?
Well, in the movie, it was for, I think the check was $500. She wanted $300, so he paid her in a fake check of $500, and she gave him $200 back. So it was $300 was her price in the movie. Which is, if you think about it, that's not a terrible price.
I feel like that's pretty expensive
$300?
for a.
I mean, for like, I don't know, I've never bought a prostitute, but like in the movie, the chick was like in magazines and stuff as like a teen beauty queen. So for somebody who used to be a beauty queen, $300.
When did the movie take place? The late 80s? Was it the 60s?
Somewhere around there.
Really?
Uh-huh. I got research.
Wow, I would not have guessed that late, but you're probably right. Okay, so
50s or 60s.
yeah, dude, $300, that's a lot of money back then.
Catch Me If You Can. What is it based in? That movie came out in 2002. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago. The kid was only like 18. Year 7. Came out on Christmas.
Did it really?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything? come out?
1969.
Okay, yeah, you were right.
So $300 in 1969.
That's a shit ton of money.
$300 in 1969.
I mean, you were like what, 12 then? So how much? You know, if somebody handed you $300.
I mean, if somebody gave me $300 now, it'd be. That's about $2,000 in 2017.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of money. So I mean, for $2,000, hooking up with a beauty queen, an ex-beauty queen, for $2,000, I almost feel like that's doable still, though.
Yeah, I mean, Garner. You know what kept popping into my mind? Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I was like, no, that's not right.
Jennifer is a very popular name for actresses.
Yeah, musicians. Yeah, you're right.
What Hudson?
Yeah.
What's another musician named Jennifer?
J-Lo.
Oh yeah, that is what the J stands for. Lopez is what the Love stands for.
Yes.
Future wife of Alex Rodriguez. Most annoying couple on Instagram.
I don't follow like any celebrities on Instagram except for Ice-T's wife, Coco.
Please unpack that for me. How did this happen?
Okay,
Were you a big fan of like the E! Show?
No. So,
So you were super into like ambiguously raced women getting dick down in pornos in the early 2000s, and then you just followed her on Instagram?
No, so like she will like, and a friend of mine is the one who made me follow her.
Mm-hmm.
She will frequently post photos of like her what's it called when you get your toes done? Pedicures and shit like that, and her
Big
shoes.
feet guy.
I'm not a feet guy. However, there will be like 2,000 comments underneath that
that's fun.
that make your eye, like, I cry because I laugh so hard, like the way these men idolize this woman's feet. And I also am amazed that Ice-T said on record that his wife has never had plastic surgery. He said it.
I didn't.
So
I did not peg Ice-T for a liar.
And me either.
Many things I would give to Ice-T. Decent actor.
He is a decent actor.
Okay rapper. Cop killer! That's not even a rap song, but that's the only Ice-T song I can bring off the top of my head. That's how good at rapping he is.
Yeah.
Great name. Ugly dude.
He looks like a possum.
He looks like Al Sharpton if he never lost the weight. And like had like a real bad smoking problem.
Al Sharpton.
With his like slick back hair.
Yeah.
But no, so your Coco story is way better. Like I don't follow Jennifer Lopez on Instagram, but like I follow Alex. Like I didn't even realize that I followed Alex Rodriguez on Instagram until him and J-Lo started dating, because that's when his like social media.
Oh, that's when he started like blowing it up.
Yeah, and I was like, Which you would, like, if you all of a sudden...
If you're dating J-Lo?
Yeah, like, all of a sudden you're just like, everybody on the gram needs to see this.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's Alex Rodriguez and he's a multi-millionaire and a great baseball player, great at steroids, but,
Great steroids.
but, like, at some point you're just like, man, how am I supposed to, like, not tell everybody I'm dating J-Lo? So we're getting married, that's cool, just to get out of the war. I stopped listening to Roots. I figured I should update you and everybody else.
How far did you get?
Like,
what's the last thing that happened?
He got kidnapped, but it wasn't because of the kidnapping part that I stopped listening to it. Like, there's just a lot of dick talk in the Book of Roots. I don't know if they do it in the movie or not, where they, like, focus on him, like, realizing what his dick does for a lot of time. But, like, this is why I stopped listening. Dude, like, they talk about him having a wet dream. They, like, he's, like, out, like, saving the town, like, guarding the town. And he's like, yeah, man, I forget what they call their penises on there. There's, like, some sort of, like, African name for it. And he's like, all of a sudden my dick got hard thinking about this chick, like, just sitting there. And that's, like, when he gets kidnapped, too. So, like, it was, like, very... But, like, the way the author talks about him discovering his sexuality as a young man versus him getting kidnapped are very two levels of excitement. Like, that just
didn't match?
No, he's like, he woke up with the warmth of himself all over himself, and he was ashamed. And then it was like, yeah, he also got his ass kicked by some white people, and now he's on a boat. Like, they just, like, completely just, like, skim over.
With the warmth of himself.
Dude. I'm telling you. Like, he's like, it was so weird. And he's
wow.
Just, yeah, and I was like, all right, well, this is enough of this.
This is what I'm picturing right now.
Just me in my car.
Just listening. Just him, like, looking around, like, ashamed at what you're listening to. Wow.
Like, just alone in my car, like, do you guys fucking hear this?
Damn!
Right. And I'm just like, God. And so then, I don't know. And then, of course, it gets, like, all, like, it becomes a bummer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, slavery's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it was just... all of a sudden, it's like he spent so much time talking about him growing up, and then they just, like, smooth over, like, what the book is about.
Sure.
Because, like, that's probably... And, I mean, again, I haven't gotten further than that, but, like, that's probably the worst moment of that person's life at that point. And they spent... Because it's an audiobook, so it'd be, like, a chapter is maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And, like, overall, they've spent probably a good 10 to 15 minutes talking about this kid learning how his dick works, and then he gets kidnapped, and they're like, yeah, that's worth a minute and a half. And it's like, that's kind of a big deal.
Well, I mean, the rest of the book is about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean? But I get it. That's funny.
Dude, it's...
I'm sorry. You get a pass of, like, not listening to it anymore, because I don't know, especially given that it was, like, an audio book. So it's just, like...
It's just the dude's inflection. Just, like, was, like he found himself, like, all of a sudden, I forget the word, it was, like, his thingamajig got hard, and he wasn't able to, like, concentrate on things, and then it was, like, he got hit in the head with a knee, and it's, like, these are two different levels of excitement. Which it makes sense, because, like, I mean, he's, like, 15 in the book, so, like, that's when all that stuff happens. Welcome to anatomy class on Classy Dinner Podcast, but... They didn't have, like, Scrambled Spice Channel. Like, they just kind of had to use their imagination. More simple times. But, I don't know. It was just, it was weird. And I was like, I don't need to hear about this dude. And his, can you quiet down, Paul? Jesus. Okay. Wow. Yeah. What did you want to talk about this week? Did you come unprepared again?
What do you mean again?
I mean, last week you just said that you were busy for, like, the 2 days before, even though we do this every 2 weeks. So, I mean...
Okay. Well, so, here's the thing, is that, like, the things that I bring up, they have to be fresh.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because, like...
So fresh, so clean?
Yeah.
Like an outcast?
Have you... I feel like the answer to this is no already, but have you watched that Netflix show, You?
Ashley does. I watched some of the first season.
Okay. Is she watching the second season now?
She's done with it.
Oh, she's done. Okay. So I just finished it last night.
Spoiler alerts.
Actually, no spoilers.
Oh, you're not gonna spoil it?
But you understand like the premise of the show,
yeah,
right?
I know exactly
okay.
what's going on.
So, for those of you that don't know, all I'm saying is that there's this guy, younger white dude,
He's a stalker.
late 20s. He's a stalker.
If you don't at least know that he's a stalker and a murderer,
Yeah, that's not a
then
spoiler.
you're not going to get into
Right,
it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He is a stalker, murderer, and overall psychopath, and he targets.
Works at a bookstore. Don't trust anybody who works at a bookstore.
Not in 2020.
No.
And targets young women to stalk and murder, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just leave it there. All the signs were there. Like this guy presented a lot of red flags, don't you think?
Yeah, and so like in season 1, since we can cover that one because I've seen parts of it, this chick had an apartment right on the floor level with a giant window.
And was just walking around like that.
So she's looking for that kind of person. Not to like, I don't want this to be a victim blaming thing because like nobody.
You just opened a big ass can of worms.
She knew what she was doing.
Okay.
Like you can't have. You've been around females. Like if anybody.
Do not incriminate me.
No,
in what
I'm
you're
just
about to
no, I'm just saying if there's even a chance of somebody who did, they will fucking like hide in a closet to get changed. Like, and this chick is just like with her windows wide open, like getting changed all the time.
Okay, but just because you change in front of a window doesn't mean that you
A wide open
welcome,
window on the street.
That doesn't mean that
I
you
know,
welcome
but,
someone
like, that's what I'm
jerking
thinking.
off in the bushes across the street
Well,
as
obviously.
they stare at you.
Well,
like that's
yeah,
not
you
the
don't
same
want to
thing.
stalk her.
Right.
Like she did, but like her judgment is already not that great. So like the dude that has all like the warning signs, probably she didn't want to see them or she like overlooked them because she's already not great at judgment.
That's true.
And this is a television show where everybody,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not,
Right.
If somebody, I swear to God, if somebody's like, this podcast victim blames, it's in a fucking TV show. We can talk about things in a theory.
I just think that we as people need to be way more aware of problematic personality traits. And I feel like a lot of times we are not.
Well, that circles around to me telling people that they're not shit. Like, we need to be like,
Yeah.
it has to be okay to be like, this fucking person's weird.
Yeah. Something wrong with this motherfucker.
Did you see how he answered his telephone? Nobody does it that way. Like, we're just, I don't want to say it that we're too accepting, but we're too weary of being like, no, there's something up with this fucking guy. And like, I can think of like 3 or 4 people. You're just
I
like,
am absolutely doing the same thing right now.
and
where
you're just
it's
like, yeah, you're allowed to hang out with them.
Yeah.
But like,
I can even think of a couple people that it's like
there's
that
a guy,
like I've said to other people like something is wrong here, and everybody else is like, he's harmless. That's just how he is, and I'm like, no,
there's people like there's one guy. I'm not gonna because he's a nice guy in one-on-one, but like, and I don't want to judge him on his online activity because like I'm also crazy online.
I get it,
but like you can just see it in his eyes, and I'll be like, so and so is at this show. Like, just keep your head on a swivel. Like, like, and I've done that for like multiple people. Be like, keep track of who's at this show.
Yeah.
Because like you never know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And because there was a time where I still stand that I was probably drugged and ended up dancing or trying to dance on the bar at Gyro. Yes, I was drinking a lot and I put myself in this situation, so I'm not giving myself a pass. But this guy still comes to Gyro all the time. This is part of the reason why I don't drink either. It's because like this guy would just be everywhere all the time, and that is the last person I remember taking a drink from that night. And like then everything goes like real fuzzy. And I'll tell you off mic, but like he
Uh-huh.
just like he shows up all the time and he'll still like look at me and like see what I'm drinking, or maybe it's like in my brain. But since it's the last person I remember before going black, I'm like, all right, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Cause like he come, like, and yes, I'm good at what I do, but like he was like, you are real funny tonight. I wanted to buy you a drink. Like you're really stepping it up lately. I really like what you got.
I cannot wait to hear who the fuck this is.
He works at Buffalo Wild Wings. Well,
that doesn't slow it down for me, but okay.
But he's like, here, I bought you a drink. I was like, fuck yeah, like, cause I was like in a drinking night, because obviously we were just like fucking going against the machine that night, and I fucking yes.
I know who you're talking about. Crazy.
Yeah. So like, and that's like his face was the last face I remember before like completely just like being gone. And so then, and now like I'll still see him and he'll say hello, and I will like, just like, I'll order a brand new drink.
Clutch your butthole.
Yeah, luckily I'm not afraid of driving drunk, because otherwise he might have tried to like take me home.
Yeah.
So also don't drive drunk. I got yelled at.
Disclaimer.
I got a little bit of shame because I told people just go ahead and drive drunk on New Year's Eve because it doesn't matter. And just as a joke, because every single person was like, if you need a ride, don't drive drunk. Give me a call. And it's like 4 people are gonna drive drunk, anyways. Like people are gonna drive drunk on New Year's Eve. It happens. The chances of you getting a DUI are very low, and the chances of you killing somebody are very low.
If you are drunk and you got yourself there. That means you should have money for an Uber. Do not call my phone at bar close because you need a fucking ride.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Walk.
Uber.
I don't care.
But that's it. But this was my point. Is I was like, this is obviously a joke, being like, fuck it, drive home drunk. It doesn't matter. Like you're probably not gonna kill anybody because it happens. So it doesn't happen that often.
Right.
Just because off of math.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, no, it's like driving drunk. It's the guy who cuts my hair. And he's like, driving drunk isn't a joke. It's like a hard thing. I was like. And I even put underneath there, I was like, Nick, I hope your words save as many lives as my words kill tonight. So
it evens out. Yeah.
And he's just like, I understand your point. And it's like, yeah, like when did we all become our parents? That's the thing that drives me the most nuts lately. It's like, especially online, even in person, like, when did we become our parents?
I'm sorry. I don't feel obligated to take responsibility for what other adults do.
No.
I don't, and I'm not going to. Like,
here's my job.
Do what you want to do,
Here's
bro.
my job. And it's, I mean, we've been in these situations probably 1,000 times.
Yep.
And it's just like, hey, you probably shouldn't drive home. And it's like, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyways. I don't feel like waiting on an Uber. And you're just like, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. 100%.
I'm not stealing a grown man's keys.
Never.
If they want to go to jail, they can go to jail.
100%. 3 hots and a cot. It ain't that bad.
Their decision making is impaired, and you're supposed to do. No, fuck them.
You are grown.
You're an adult. Don't put yourself in a situation. Like, there's times when I'm still bad with money, but like there were times where I was real bad with money, so I'd go to the ATM. I would get $40 out of the ATM because I knew I was going out drinking, and it'd be like 2 drinks in, everybody's getting drinks. And so you wake up with like a $250 bar tab, and you're just
sure.
How did I spend that?
Yeah.
You leave your I would go get $40, leave my card at home, so I didn't even have the opportunity. Have my ID, have my $40. That's how much fun we're having, unless somebody wants to buy me a drink. If I know that I'm going to like drink for real, I would have you pick me up, and then I would take a Lyft or an Uber home, or you just like. You got there. You're either going to get back by any means necessary, drive down streets you know nobody's down, because that's where cops aren't, and figure it out. And, like, you have to know, and yes, there's times you wake up and you're like, boy, I shouldn't have done that. But, like, there's also other times where you're like, you wake up, you feel fine, you're like, boy, I'm glad I didn't spend $15 to get home because I thought I was drunker than I was.
I mean, it's definitely happened to all of us. I think that we need to get past the point where we are devoutly shaming people.
Yes.
Who
thinking that you're perfect.
And at the end of the day, I am 6'2",
yeah,
about 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I can handle a shit ton more liquor and beer and coke, whatever.
People listen to this, Josh.
Not
that many, but enough.
Than most people. You know what I mean? So, like, if I say I'm fine and you try to take my keys, you want to fight.
Right.
And I'll do, like, that's fine. We can do that.
Yeah.
Or you could just move out of my way.
Yeah.
Like.
And fuck you for calling the cops. Like.
What?
You know?
Who called the cops?
No, but, like, it happens. Like, people, I've seen it happen at bars before. Like, they'll be like, well, we're going to call the cops and let them know that he's driving. Who the fuck are you? Why are you doing that?
I mean, if you really cared that much about that person, that should not be your go-to.
Or you should drive them home. Be like, hey, I'll drive you home.
They sit in the car, even if the car is not moving, they're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know that was like really a thing still.
Yeah, it's insanity.
That's wild.
And I know it comes back like on the bar and everything like that, but like that's on the bar as well, not to serve you if you're so fucked up. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been stopped being served. Like, how drunk do you get at a bar?
So I don't know exactly. So my job is like a little bit stricter, and that's probably because like you're not only drinking, but like there's money at stake. Yeah. Exactly. So like I've heard of people getting cut off for like raising their voices. You know what I mean? Shit
I mean,
like
I've
that.
seen
Like you
people
need to calm
get cut
down.
off, but like I don't know.
I feel like you have to be pretty belligerent to get cut off.
Well, it's like an old bartender at the Gyro. I don't still know if she works there or not, but she made a really big deal of not drinking for a long time and now drinks again. And I saw her at Water Street, just fucking tanked, like could barely even sit. And I mean, I don't want to throw Water Street underneath, but like the guy was like, "Look, I'll give you one more drink, and that's it." Yeah. It's like, I don't even know if she should have had that one more. She was like fucking that railed. So like he cut her off. So like he did what he was supposed to. But like it takes until then to get cut off.
I mean, I feel like I feel like it is unrealistic and unfair to put that responsibility
on a bartender,
who, especially in the city of Kent on a Friday and Saturday, you could have 150, 200 people circling around your bar waiting for a drink. Like, you mean to tell me that every bartender has to pay that close of attention to everyone? Because if I just toss somebody a beer, I'm not looking to see what happens afterwards. Here's your beer, $2.50, got your $2.50, bye. Like, go. It's that simple. If you can cognitively say to me, when I say, what do you need? Miller Lite? Cool. Here's your Miller. Like, bye. You know what I'm saying?
That's the old joke about, I forget who it was, but like that's why Budweiser has the best beer name, is like it's the easiest one to say when you're about to be cut off or at like closing.
Bud.
Yeah, just Bud. Like it's just so easy to say. But I forget what the point of the whole thing was. Fuck, because I was gonna go somewhere. But that's, I don't know. Just to like, yeah, I think adults need to be adults and fucking figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I can't do that. Let's change the pace a little bit, because I've been listening to a certain artist a lot lately.
So have I. I'm interested to hear who yours is.
Who's yours?
B.B. King.
Oh, really?
Yeah, R.I.P.
What brought that up? Because that's an interesting one, because I grew up like a huge B.B. King fan.
So did I. My mom was a huge fan, and I believe my dad was too. I don't really know what brought it up, but yesterday found Midnight Believer, which is like a big, it was a huge B.B. King album, came out in '78, found it on vinyl, and it was only $8.
Oh, that's a steal.
And it's like, normally I'm a little wary of those because it's like, it's probably scratch or something like that, so then I gotta work on it, but for $8, I was like, alright, whatever. It's flawless.
Nice.
It's literally flawless.
Where was that at? The Exchange? Or was it online?
No. It was in Cleveland.
Oh.
We were in Cleveland. It's like close to Ohio City. I can't remember what the name of the record store was.
That'd be nice to give them a shout out, so maybe they could sponsor us.
Yeah. Because they do that.
Who cares?
Okay.
But yeah, continue.
But no, I just like, sometimes I listen to like old records and shit like that. And yesterday I was also listening to Elton John Diamonds on vinyl, which is fucking flawless.
Which is why I follow you on Twitter now. It's
How did you see that tweet? Because you liked the tweet before you...
I have liked a myriad of your tweets.
Have you really?
That's how, like, your shit shows... Because you know how, like, they'll throw... Like, if you have a bunch of people who follow somebody, like, if your friends follow somebody else, like, they'll still show up in your timeline.
Uh-huh.
So, like, on Twitter and Instagram it does that, but not, like, Facebook.
Oh, so I've just been, like, showing up in your timeline?
Yeah, so I just, like... and it wouldn't be, like, every day, but it'd be, like, every so often. I was, like... And just recently, I was like, oh, Josh has been tweeting a lot recently.
I've been tweeting way more. I used to tweet a shit ton, and then I went on, like, a little hiatus, but now I'm back.
I like Twitter, because
I love
like,
it.
I have like 300-400 followers on Twitter, at the Ray Roberts on Twitter if you want to follow. But I like it because like none of the people on Facebook who give me shit, like that's like Twitter is like a wasteland where you can just have fun with anything.
You're just screaming into a void.
Yeah, and like you can just like the most wild shit you come up with, you can throw on there. And if something does well on Twitter, then I'll put it on Facebook or on Instagram because like then I know it's like past a certain test. But like I like putting crazy shit on Facebook because you have like unlimited characters. But like there's that art to Twitter where you got to keep it under like 240.
Right.
So you have to like keep that thing there. But no, so I saw that you were listening to Elton John, so I liked it, and then it was like Josh Lewis is followed by like 17 of your other friends, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? So I like clicked on it because I tried to like tweet at you recently, and I couldn't think of it, or like it wouldn't pop up, and I was like, oh, I have not followed him for the last 5 years.
I thought that we did, and that's why when it
Remember
popped up,
for like the longest time we weren't even Facebook friends.
Yeah, that was for like a long time, and like it would. I can't remember.
I think it was the Boo Bear attack video is when I finally friended you on Facebook.
That's right.
And so because I needed to tag you in it.
But like, you posted it after, and I hadn't seen it for like you tagged me in it after. And Caleb, and I think it was Caleb, but he was like, "Did you see that Ray posted that video on Facebook?" And I was like, "No, we're not Facebook friends." And he was like, "Why? Yeah. Like, how are you two?"
That was the thing I was doing for a while.
Yeah.
Where just be like me and Yams still aren't fucking Facebook friends.
I don't add people on Facebook.
They have to add me.
Yeah.
That's kind of the rule.
And even if they do, sometimes I'll just leave it there.
Dude, I've deleted so many Facebook things lately.
A million.
Just because there's like a certain... Just doing comedy, there's a million fucking knuckleheads that'll just like add anybody.
Yeah.
And half the time it's just like a stupid bot or like some crazy person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not gonna add you. Like I have like 2 or 3 people that if they're friends with them on Facebook, then I'll add them. Mm-hmm. But like if I see there's like the same group of people who fucking suck at comedy, will add every single person on Facebook.
Right.
And I'll like see an entire list of everybody I hate, and I'm like, oh, this is just not even worth it.
Trash. I'm not even getting involved.
Yeah. So thank you for being terrible, and I know that's where my standards are.
Yeah.
But BB King, great. I saw him on his 80th birthday tour that was like my 16th birthday gift. Came to the Stranahan in Toledo.
I saw him. It's closed now, but at the Hard Rock Roxino, I saw him. It was like one of his last. It was for sure his last tour, and it might have been.
Yeah, he had to be
one
1,000 years old.
He had to be like wheeled on stage. Like he was.
It was bad when I saw him when I was 16.
Yeah, he was in really rough shape, and it was really sad. Like the entire crowd got like really quiet at a point because he like started re-singing songs that he had sang earlier in the show because he had forgotten, and it was like super sad, and nobody was like giving him shit.
That's why you don't have 30,000 kids.
Exactly.
Where they need all that BB King money.
Yeah. And aren't they still? They're like still fighting over it too.
I have no idea. Because I remember when he came to Toledo, he brought like 20 people on stage.
Yep.
And he's like, these are all kids and grandkids. And
yep.
like, and that's just in the Toledo area.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck, man.
Well, and I know that a lot of his kids, like his older kids who are in like their 30s and 40s, also worked for him. Like managing his money, producers, like shit like that.
Well, and his first deals had to be like those crazy, like, we'll maybe pay you sometime deals. Like back in the day when he was coming, especially being a black blues artist in like the 50s and 60s coming up, like he probably made like a nickel per song.
No, he probably made more than that because I'm pretty sure he was either with Atlantic Records or Motown Records, and those were primarily black.
I could see him being at Chess. Chess probably makes more sense for BB King. They did a lot of like blues artists.
Yeah, but he's like deep Southern blues. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
who were you? Who have you been listening to?
Bruno Mars.
What?
Yeah. Like,
Why?
I
Who has Bruno Mars in heavy rotation in 2020?
that's my thing is, do you think Bruno Mars is underrated? Because I have.
No.
When's the last time you listened to some Bruno Mars though?
Probably a few years ago, and that was intentional.
So, because I listen, Gym Class Heroes is a band that I like.
Oh my god!
And I just like every once in a while I'll like go down like a random rabbit hole, and like I hit Billionaire by Travie McCoy. It's so funny between Travie McCoy and Bruno Mars in that song, because that's who sings like the sing-songy part is Bruno Mars, and it's like, who would have thought that Travie McCoy wouldn't even exist in 2020, but Bruno Mars is one of like the biggest artists out there, like in that whole setup. And so like it just like in my suggested like listens came up a whole bunch more Bruno Mars, and like bangers, dude, just a whole bunch, like hit after hit of just greatness from Bruno Mars.
I really just do not care for the sound of his voice. But
Really?
he's producing now too, isn't he?
I have no idea, but like
I think he's producing.
here's the biggest part for me though was like at the time when it came out, it was real annoying because he was doing like lovey songs,
Yeah.
like that "Catch a Grenade for You" song. Great fucking song. They just played it 1.5 million times.
Right.
24 Karat Magic, fucking killer. Finesse? Are you kidding me? That's a great song.
I don't like any of these songs, but I
What?
get where you're coming from, because I remember that I was in the minority of people who did not like them.
I didn't
You
like
know
them
what
at the
I mean?
time, but now you're just like, you go back through it and you're like, these are actually, like, it makes sense why they're so famous.
Sure.
But Bruno Mars has been in my rotation. I don't know why. Like, I'll look for a Bruno Mars song every once in a while.
That's wild.
That and Drake. I don't know why I've been super into Drake lately.
Nah.
Old Drake. Like, not even...
Oh, okay. Sure, then. Yeah.
Like, All Me has
Yeah.
been a big one since I'm taking over the world and shit. And the ones... I like that Portland song.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
a
know what
great
song you're talking about.
I don't like Quavo. I don't like the rest of the song, but like...
Quavo.
Skirt, skirt! I don't know. Is there anything else you want to hit? Is there something... Oh, I did tell Dylan that I would pimp out the guest spot more, so we have to do that. So shout out to the guestspot.net. Go to whoisrayroberts.com. And, oh, I didn't get to talk about this last time.
Go ahead.
We'll end on this little story. I did a private gig for like some digging company in a nowhere town in PA, and
Digging company?
yeah, it's like a excavation.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because they just dig holes.
Sure,
As
yeah.
far as I know.
That's fair.
And it was like their Christmas party,
Okay.
and we got like a little
How
bit.
did you get? Go ahead.
Dude, it's
Go ahead. Just go.
Hookstown, PA. Shout out. My third favorite nowhere town in PA. Go Sharon, Benango, Hookstown, whatever. But we're at the volunteer firefighters like building, because they've got like a room
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like a banquet hall.
Yeah.
And it's this excavating company, and like I got there early, and like the boss was there, like giving like his whole like speech, like thank you for coming, which we've been part of those speeches before, where like nobody really likes the boss, but you're there and they paid for all the stuff, and like you have to sit through it and everybody claps. And,
This is a family.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
I saw a video that they put up recently, and I watched like 2 minutes of it, and I was like, I don't even want to give them the numbers on this, but that's for a different place. This is for the excavating company. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, just public speaking is not that hard. But we're on video now too. So, but
Forgot about that.
so like we got notes on this company before
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah.
And the owner like loves to like race cars. He's
Okay.
like a rich guy because he owns the company.
Oh, great.
Very into church. His pastor was there for a stand-up show. It was
Beautiful.
very intimidating.
Beautiful.
But the thing, he had a puppet, like like a mannequin thing. Like he liked
A
to
hand
do,
puppet?
like ventriloquist dummy. That's the word.
Ooh, nope. Okay.
Named Skeeter.
Okay.
That he liked to do, like that's why he wanted to do a comedy show, is because he liked doing his ventriloquism on this dummy. And so like a couple people go up before me. And like the microphone's not working, all this other shit. So then I get up there and I'm supposed to do like 10-15 minutes or whatever. And I'm just like looking at everybody, and it's supposed to be a super squeaky clean, because like the pastor's there's fucking kids. It doesn't make sense. Like why you would have, whatever. So I'm up there, and then of course I see this fucking guy holding the ventriloquism dummy. And I was like, oh good, Skeeter's here. I'm glad. Like I'm glad that Skeeter's here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so before I get started with like my stupid jokes or whatever, like I want to ask, like, because he was like talking through the doll, like, and I was talking to like the man, and he was like answering with the doll, and I was like, Skeeter, can I talk to Mr. So and So real quick? Because like talking, like just
so
like,
on stage you were talking to this man's puppet.
Yes, and I'm just
in
like
front of people.
in front of other people.
Okay.
And so I go, hey, how many times have you tried to fire somebody as Skeeter? And then like Skeeter's like, we've never done it. And, like it was just like the worst voice. And so and then I'm like telling a joke, and it was like about how I wasn't drinking, but like I still do other drugs because I'm an adult, blah 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 blah. And then like I realized the guy's pastor was there, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, pastor. And then like everybody thought it was hilarious because the pastor was laughing anyways. And then the doll's like, you're not the one, or he's not the one signing the checks. You need to apologize to me. So then I just like tore into
Skeeter?
Yeah, dude, it was bad. I was like, man, because like his teeth were all jacked. I was like, you can tell who pays for the dental insurance at this company and stuff. And like,
Ray.
The rest of the company loved it because
Yeah.
like you're making fun of their boss and his stupid puppet.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part is, so like the mic kept cutting in and out. I was like the quote unquote feature. The headliner goes up and he was telling a story. He did a good job. He's the guy who booked it, so I don't want to like talk smack, but he just like wasn't resonating with that crowd. And the fucking puppet is sitting there, like the mic cuts out at a certain point, and the puppet says something smart. And then the headliner goes, oh, are you not having a good time or whatever? And then the dude starts snoring through the puppet. Like he was heckling the guy as the puppet. And I'm crying in the back. Because I was like, this is the most ridiculous way to make $50 in the entire world.
$50?
Yeah.
You dealt with this for $50 bucks?
Dude, it was
Oh
nonsense.
God, no.
But like, it's a long way
Never.
to the top if you want to rock and roll.
Apparently
is what I've
so.
been told. But yeah, it got somebody was heckling people with a dummy named Skeeter at a thing about a month ago, and that's just like, this is what you have to deal with to make money. So you probably did it smart by just like working for the devil,
Yeah.
selling sin.
Yeah. I would have ended up here anyway, so
That's fine.
I just took the quick route.
So, Joshy, to wrap this up, how do we feel about industry? Do we love industry?
We do love industry, for the most part.
Okay, would you say that we should cheers it to industry?
Let's do it.
Cheers to industry.